will probably be one of the most personal stories, one of the story times I will ever tell. I keep this stuff to myself. I don't mind talking about my depression and stuff like that, but what I'm going to talk about is more of just a very private thing that I went through, and only, those closest around me knew what I was going through. But I felt that I wanted to share this because I just feel like it will be therapeutic, and maybe it can help someone out there as well. So this is basically going to be about why I stopped drawing for a year. And it was very unusual for me to stop drawing because I've been drawing since the 3rd grade, and my entire basic childhood and middle school and high school years were just drawing. And I have probably hundreds of sketchbooks of just drawing. That was my livelihood. Okay, I didn't go outside and play soccer and ride bikes and stuff. I mean, I kind of did that, but honestly, like, maybe 98% of my childhood was just drawing, first off, okay? So I've always been drawing. Everyone knows I've been drawing, and that's good. All right, so then I went to art school. All right, art school, drawing. Even if I didn't want to draw, I'm still forced to draw because it's art school, and you're learning to be a commercial artist, and you have to draw whether you want to or not, right? Because you got to pass classes and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, been drawing basically forever. And in 2017, I remember this day specifically because it's very traumatic. 2017, September 22nd, sometime in September, I think the 4th, I was basically living in my art school's housing, and essentially they basically told me that I couldn't be in housing anymore because my contract was expiring, and I had to basically find a new place to live. I was in San Francisco by myself, okay? I didn't have anyone that I really knew. The friends that I did ask if I could stay with them, they don't really have room. The places in San Francisco are not ideal for 2 people to stay in, okay? They're not like, like apartments where they're a bit larger. The places in SF, like studios, are extremely small, and to add another person is just really hectic. So I basically got turned down from all the people I was asking to stay with them, and essentially I was gonna be homeless. By the 22nd of September, if I didn't find a new home. So my boyfriend at the time, whatever, he was trying to help me and stuff like that. And this was also a time when which will be in another video, I actually got scammed out of a lot of money, and I was essentially basically gonna be homeless, and I didn't have any money. I had like maybe $5 in my bank account. And I'll explain that whole story in another video. And we wanted to be together, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Can I live with you? I was supposed to live with him, but he had his aunt is super anal and stuff, and then living with him is not the easiest because he's someone that's super picky about everything and extremely sensitive, and he's just not, he's a difficult person to live with. So I didn't feel like it was really, a good thing to stay in San Francisco anymore. So I called my sister, and she lives in the South, North Carolina, and long story short, she told me that I could stay there, and I basically was packing up and leaving. September 22nd was when I lost all my money and getting kicked out of my housing, okay? And then I also broke up with my boyfriend that time too, because we were trying to do long distance, but honestly the relationship didn't seem like it had a future, so we decided to break it off. So that was a lot to take in, and at the time I did not want to draw. Okay, I'm fucking depressed. I had a tower moment. Everything was basically collapsing around me. How the hell can I draw? What the fuck can I draw? So I did not draw. And when I was making the transition to go, to North Carolina, I did. And it was pretty intense. And but when I got there, it was very peaceful. My sister, she's an incredibly peaceful and gentle soul. She has a very soothing quality about her, and her home also had a very soothing quality as well. So it felt more like a retreat or like, what do you call it, like not a roundabout, but like a detour, okay? Because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, because I couldn't finish art school, because my contract was expiring, and I only had a few classes left. But how am I supposed to get to classes if I don't have a place to live? You feel me? So yeah, so that happened. And what I learned basically was that it's okay to take a break. Even though I wasn't drawing, I felt very guilty not drawing, but because everything was happening all at once in my personal life, I was honestly just a fucking wreck. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, nor did I understand why things played out the way they did. Everything was just ending, and I'm just like, what is up with all these endings? I don't understand. So definitely what I learned is it's okay to take a break. Sometimes we have personal issues, sometimes we have family problems, sometimes we have financial problems, and honestly, sometimes we're just not in the mood to draw. You do have dry spells when it comes to art, and it's okay to take a break, okay? Don't feel guilty. We need to take breaks so that we can experience life and get more inspiration from that and create our work. Now, the second thing that I also learned is there becomes an intense energy that builds up. So, I'm in North Carolina with my sister and stuff like that, and I wasn't working at the time, and I wasn't drawing either, but as I didn't draw, I felt this intense surge, like, inside me that was, like, preparing myself to start drawing again. And I tried to draw, and I just was not feeling it. Like, I was just in a blah mood, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, and I'm not going to force myself to do this. But it was very strange, because even though I didn't want to draw, there was this weird, like, pull that was like, come on, you want to do it. And I realized that pull was the next thing I'm going to talk about. Ideas stored in your head are fuel. So I had all these like flashes of visions of just images for me to draw, right? Like, I thought of a lady in a fishbowl. I thought of like, a dragon in the ocean or stuff like that. Just random images. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. What the fuck is this coming from? And, it's basically my spirit. It wants to draw, but it knows right now is not the right time. So it's basically going to store these ideas in my head. And that's what happened. I had all these ideas just stacked up, like how you stack up books. All these ideas in my head were just stacked up. And there's just like intense energy around it. And I just let them sit. I didn't act on it. I didn't sketch anything. I just let them pile up. And that led to me trying to basically block out anything that had to do with drawing, because I just wasn't feeling it. And basically, it's leading to my next point, which is it's okay to try new things and fail. So the reason I feel I stopped drawing for a year was because I just needed to experience something different. I needed something different that wasn't art. Since I've been doing art all my life, I kind of got tired of it. So I basically made these Japanese language courses, and I did them online, and I thought I could make some money and stuff like that. I spent, I don't know how many months, I think maybe 4 or 5 months creating these, maybe 3 months, creating these basically online Japanese courses. So if you guys don't know, I actually have been studying Japanese for 12 years, and I'd say I'm pretty good at it, that I can basically teach. So that's what I did, but unfortunately, I didn't really make much money at all, and I ended up basically making my lessons free. So that happened, and I thought that would basically propel me towards something different, just to experience something different that wasn't art. But what I didn't know is that creating the videos itself was a form of art. I'm sorry if it's really loud. It's the ice cream truck. Go away. But yeah, creating those videos actually was a form of art, but I was not consciously aware of that at the time. Also, while I was trying to come out of my weird funk, I attempted to do a webcomic. And I actually did this webcomic in 2016. So 2016 to 2018, it was actually running, okay? So I was maybe on like chapter 20 something. And I started to just kind of not care anymore. Even though I did have people who liked it, I did have a lot of followers and people were really enjoying the story. Honestly, I didn't know what the fuck this story was about. I didn't even do an outline, okay? Like, I didn't do things the proper way. I had a script, and when I was drawing, I was like, oh, actually, my character wants to do this, and my character wants to do that. Oh, the story's writing itself. Oh, that's so cool. Essentially, the story wrote itself because I did not listen to myself, and I fucking discarded the script. And then when I started, looking back on the story, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I don't even know why. I don't even know what's supposed to be happening. My story became complete trash. I was the only one that noticed it, okay? My readers were like, oh my god, this story's so good. And I was just like, you guys are crazy. What are you talking about? So I basically stopped that comic. I just stopped drawing it. And as much as I wish I could say I will get back on it, I don't think I'll ever continue that comic because I just didn't have the passion for it anymore. And I didn't really make a map for myself in the beginning to know where this story was going, okay? These ideas kept popping into my head, so I just kept drawing them, but they didn't connect, okay? And the next thing about, why I stopped drawing for a year and what I learned is let go and let the depression play out. So you guys know my video about depression. So I have depression, it goes in and out. Well, my depression, basically, I noticed that my depression starts first when I don't have work because I'm a very productive person and I like to stay busy and I like to be productive and I like to make money. I was unemployed, okay? And depressed. So, yeah, that did not help. And lost in life. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't even know why the fuck I was there. I didn't even know why I was existing. I was just very confused and everything was super foggy, okay? I was stuck on a boat and it was just foggy and I couldn't see anything. So, I'm a very spiritual person, so I practiced spirituality and meditation and writing out my thoughts and the law of attraction and stuff like that. And essentially, I had to learn how to let go and let the depression play out, okay? I just had to feel the feelings and let it go. I don't know how long it lasted, but I went through some pretty dark days. So let's just say it lasted for a hot minute. But eventually the fog will disappear, okay? The fog will disappear and you will get clarity again. Now, the thing that I also learned is not to force yourself to stop healing, if that makes sense. When you're depressed, I actually feel like it's a form of healing for our body, okay? For our body to basically retract and for us to go within and heal ourselves. So I feel like when we are depressed, there is a form of healing going on. And so I did something where I was trying to get into something else. I forgot what it was. And I was basically trying to put on this fake smile and shit and be all happy. And I was trying to force the process of my healing. Like, oh no, I'm totally fine. Everything's great. No, I'm great. Yeah, it's great. Don't worry. I would tell my friend, oh yeah, things are really cool. Things are great. Trying to lie to myself. And that actually worsened it. And it actually, kind of stunted my healing. And if like you're running a marathon and you're having good momentum, then you fucking trip, you're like, oh shit, now I have to get back in that momentum. That's what it felt like. So I elongated my depression by faking like I was okay. And it's okay to feel that, it's okay. It's not something that's bad. So that's what I learned, and I definitely will never do that again. Now, the last thing I learned while, I stopped drawing for a year is go for what it is that you want, even if the path is really hard. So, I am an artist, and I always will be an artist, but one of my passions is the Japanese language, and one of my dreams is to teach English in Japan. Now, when I was in art school, I didn't really fucking know why I was in art school. I became very lost as I was going to school. So when this whole thing transpired and I couldn't finish, of course I was really upset. And I wanted to finish, but it was just financially, it was just fucking impossible to finish. When I was in North Carolina, and I don't know what thought came over me, but I was just like, well, I only had 3 classes left that I had to finish, so let's see if these classes are online. I looked and the classes aren't online on the website or whatever. And so, I called some people and talked to them about it, and they're like, it's best for you to just come back and kind of, just finish your classes. But what really got me going was that the school was apparently going to close in December, and it was July when this happened? Yeah, it was July. It was July 2018 when, I was talking to all these people, and they told me the school's closing. I'm like, why is the school closing? And they're like, oh, they kind of got in some trouble, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, if I finish, is my degree gonna be okay? They're like, oh, no, your degree will be fine. I'm like, oh, so then I could finish? They're like, yeah, you could finish. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I basically made a plan to go back to school. Back to the art school, basically, yeah. And, long story short, I had a part-time job at the time, and I saved up money. I think I saved up around maybe $1,200, and, went to California. And I was supposed to go to school, and then everything just did not play out. That's also another story time, how I dealt with that fucking blow. But I decided to just do it because I just wanted to finish so badly, and I was like, well, it may not be easy, but I want to try it. Long story short, everything just did not work out. My housing situation, I couldn't really find housing. The people I was supposed to house with were kind of, unreliable. And then the school, it started at like September 23rd or something, and like I was trying to get ready in 2 weeks, and it was just very unrealistic. So I decided not to go, and I'm just like, well, fuck it, whatever. So yeah, I didn't finish art school, guys. That's why I harp about art school, because I'm kind of bitter about that. But it is what it is. So yeah. So I decided to go for another path, which was teaching Japanese. Teaching English in Japan. So I'm basically in school again, a community college, and I'm majoring in English for transfer, which is specifically teaching English, abroad, which is really cool. So basically, go for what you want, okay? As you could see, there was a ton of trials and tribulations and things I didn't know what was happening. Sometimes we don't always have to know where our life is going, and we just have to believe and have faith that everything will be okay, and that where we're going, even though we're confused or we can't see our path, or it's super dark, or everything is so fucking negative, that things will get better, okay? The universe wants us to be happy, okay? But we have to go through life lessons because we have to grow stronger. And as much as I fucking hate going through lessons, they are absolutely essential to grow as a person and as an artist. So go for the path that you desire. Know it won't be easy. Instill that in your head that it won't be easy, but you can get what you want. All you have to do is decide. Alright. Well, thanks so much for listening to this really personal story, and I'm actually very surprised that I even mentioned that I even talked about this, but again, I did hope, this maybe helped someone out there, or maybe it brought you some comfort to know that you're not alone in your struggles, and also for you to realize that, again, it's okay for you to stop drawing for a couple of months or even years. It's okay for you to take a break, because once I came back and I started drawing again, I had all these ideas, right, that were piled up, so I had so much to draw. There were no artist blocks for me. There still is no artist blocks for me, and my creativity has been at an all-time high. It's probably the highest it's ever been, to be honest. So yeah, that's kind of the effect that that happened for me as well. And I also am on a different career track as well. Now, the thing about me is that I do a lot of different careers. I'm not just an artist and just an artist. No, I'm gonna be an artist and a language teacher, okay? But the kind of art I'm doing now is I draw children's books. So I'm like a freelance children's book illustrator, and I've actually really liked that path. And it's something I never really expected. It was more like a dream that I pretty much put on the back burner that I didn't think would really take shape. But like I said, you don't know where life is going to take you. So don't be afraid to go down the path you want, even if it is a hard one. Because at the end of the day, it will be fulfilling. You will learn a lot of things. and it's going to be something that's going to make you successful internally as a person, and you will become someone that will inspire others as well. Alright, thanks so much for listening again, and I will see you guys next time. See ya!